everyone, it's Katelyn, and today I'm going to be doing a huge Q&A all about my experience studying in Sydney and just like Australia in general. I've been getting a lot of questions in my DMs about this, and I just decided it would be easier if I made like a huge video about it so I wouldn't have to individually answer the same questions over and over again. So yes, I asked you guys to leave me questions in my Instagram like story reply things, so I have them all on my phone and I'm gonna try to get to most of them. I'll try to answer all like the similar ones, and yeah, I'm really sorry if I don't get to your question. I got a lot of them, and obviously I don't have all the time in the world to answer these, but I'll try my best. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, then please leave them in the comments. I'll try to get to them as best as I can. Before the video starts, I want to talk about the jewelry that I'm wearing in this video. So these earrings right here, so these star huggy hoop earrings right here, they are from analuisa, and analuisa makes really high quality, affordable, sustainable jewelry. They offer you the same quality as like luxury high-end jewelry products, but at a fraction of the price, and it is very high quality. It won't tarnish, I swear. Like, I've been wearing this necklace. This V necklace is also from analuisa. They sent me this I think a few months ago. I've been wearing it every single day and it still looks brand new. Like, it has not tarnished. The color looks amazing. It literally looks perfect. But I love their jewelry. I wear their jewelry every single day. I've had these earrings on non-stop for the past week or so and they still look amazing. Yeah, they're super cute, everyday trendy earrings. They make really nice quality trendy pieces that are very affordable for the quality. So if you guys are interested in purchasing any of their products, please make sure to click the link in the description. I don't make any money from any of my discount codes. They're all just for you guys. They also sent me these earrings. They're beautiful drop earrings, and they have really pretty colored crystals on them, and I love them. They're so gorgeous. So if you guys are interested in any of these, then please make sure to check them out below. I'll really appreciate it, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. So let's get into the video. Yes. So first question is, what is your major? So a lot of people have been asking me what I study at uni. So basically, I am a Bachelor of Arts student and I study marketing and digital cultures. I was planning on changing from marketing to international business and then international relations, but I decided I'm already kind of deep into my marketing major classes that I can't be bothered to really change it. So I'm just gonna stick to marketing. Honestly, it's interesting. It's interesting. Another question I would get is, how is the culture? Like, what are the students like? Yeah, what's the student culture like? So basically, I don't know what the demographic of most of you guys asking me these questions are, but if you're from America, the college experience that you're kind of expecting in an American university is very different from what you get in an Australian university. So in America, you know, you all study on campus, like you live there. You're always there constantly. You're like living with people who are basically also living there. What? That made no sense. Everyone lives on campus, right? And like everyone is new, like no one really knows each other, so it's pretty crucial to make friends because or else you'll be really lonely. Whereas in Australian university, most people actually commute because there are a lot of local students. I guess like moving out of state or like wherever is not really common in Australia. Most people just commute from home. So there is not as big of a need to socialize because they already have their group of friends from high school. But that does not mean that it is like impossible to make friends, because I've made friends. It is a little more challenging, especially being an introvert, but I've tried to push through. I've made some friends and I'm surviving. I'm surviving. But overall, most people are very friendly and very nice, and just I've had like a positive experience so far, but it is a lot harder to socialize. Another question I would get is, how many classes do you do each semester and what's your timetable like? So usually per semester you take 24 credits, which is 4 classes of 6 credits, or 4 classes or like 3 classes 6 credits and 3 classes 2 credits. So my first semester I did 3 classes of 6 credits and 3 classes of 2 credits, and that adds up to 24. My 2 credit classes were all online and they were really chill, I guess. The workload is not really crazy. You have a lot of free time. Last semester I had 3 days of uni and 2 days off, so I had a 4-day weekend every single week. So what I would say is that you really need to know how to manage your time, because you do have a lot more free time than you might be used to from like high school and stuff. Yeah, and I would say if you're choosing your timetable, try to condense them into like 2 or 3 days, just so you have a nice 4-day weekend every week to relax. Unfortunately, this semester I have class every single day because 4 of my lectures are spread out onto 4 different days. So that's unfortunate, but it's better than having like long 9 to 5 hour school days every single day, since you only meet once a week in a lecture and once a week in a tutorial per class. So it's not too bad, honestly. It's really not too bad. So the workload isn't crazy. I think it's something that we can all handle, or even I can handle, because I'm like 5 IQ. A lot of questions I've been getting is like how I feel about UCID compared to Santa Clara, like how I feel from my Australian university to my experience at an American university. And I would say the experiences are very different. Like it's kind of hard to compare just because like there's so many differences between them. Like the culture is very different, the social aspect is very different. The amount of time I spend in class is like much less in an Australian university than it is in my American university. Overall, I do like both places. Sometimes I do wish I stayed at Santa Clara, but then sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm happy I moved. So I don't really have any preference of one over the other. I'm pretty content with like both, I guess. But I am planning to study abroad for my last year of uni. I'm probably gonna go back to America for my last year of uni, just so I can like be with friends and stuff. But yeah, so honestly, I like both experiences. They're very, very different, but very good. Both of them are good, I guess. I would say Australian university, you're more independent. I live in an apartment with my roommate, and I like everything I do on my own. Whereas in American universities, like, you know, you have like the place where you swipe to get food. Like there's a library, like everyone, I don't know, like it's very different, the culture. Okay, so sorry about the weird cutoff. My camera died and it's the next day because I went to go stream, but yes, we'll continue the video. So I think we're talking about housing, or maybe I was gonna answer a question about housing and if they offer housing for all students. So basically, in terms of housing, since most students live on like locally, they live in Sydney or whatever city, there's no guaranteed housing provided for all first-year students just because it's not really needed, I guess. So for international students who are not from Sydney, or like any domestic students are not from Sydney but move to Sydney, there is student accommodation through the university and also third-party student accommodations. Okay, so there's third-party student accommodations through like either like Urban Nest, Igloo, yada yada yada. And there's also student accommodation through the university directly. And yeah, you can do a bunch of research on that. I lived on campus, not like directly on campus, but I lived in Queen Mary building, which is through the University of Sydney student accommodation. I'll leave some information down below, like to the website and stuff, but you have to find a living space on your own. Like the school will not provide it for you, so make sure to apply and in advance and try to find somewhere to live before you get to Sydney. So what I did for this past semester before I moved back to Japan because of Corona, I lived in an apartment with one of my friends, and we found an apartment through like an online real estate agency. And I went to inspect the apartment, and then the next day I applied, and then we signed the lease by the end of the week. So it was really fast. So I think I would say like if it's your first year or your first semester, I would say definitely live in a student accommodation, because that's the easiest way to meet people and like make friends. And then maybe after you're settled a bit, then you can look for off-campus housing that is like an apartment or a house, share house. I definitely prefer living in an apartment more than student accommodation, just because with student accommodation you're kind of limited to things you can do. You share things with a lot of people, And honestly, I've had a lot of bad experiences with communal bathrooms and showers. It's just not very clean. Not everyone is as hygienic as like you would think they would be. So that's why I lived in an apartment this past semester. Okay, so next question. I've been getting questions about like living expenses. So I'll be honest, living in Sydney is quite expensive. It is not as cheap as, I mean, I guess it's kind of expensive to live in any really big city, but Sydney in particular is quite expensive. The rent at my apartment was 780 AUD a week, so every 2 weeks we had to pay. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Daddy can come. I'm so full. So yeah, living expenses are pretty expensive in Sydney. So my rent was 780 per week, which is split between two. So I had to pay 440 because I had the master bedroom and my roommate had the study. So that's how we split it up. And every 2 weeks I paid $880. In total, every 2 weeks, $1,520. 1 month is $3,040, which is a lot. It's $3,000 a month AUD, which is around, so the rent is around $2,100 US dollars a month. Obviously that's split between, that's like before we split it between two. So it is quite expensive if you want to live in the city. And I preferred living in the city because I was walking distance to everything. I didn't have to spend money on Ubers or transportation. I could literally walk to uni. I could walk to the grocery store. I can walk everywhere. And I'm close to transportation, so if I did want to go somewhere outside of the city, it was accessible. I barely Uber Eats or ordered any delivery because I was so close to everything. I just went out to get things. Whereas when I lived in student accommodation, I used to Uber Eats like every single night, which was bad, you know, but I was lazy. So yeah, I definitely feel like I saved money living in an apartment, which is surprising because the rent is so much higher. But personally, I cooked a lot more, I saved a lot of money, so yeah, and I just had a better experience overall in like the 2 weeks that I did live, in like the month that I did live in the apartment than I did like 4 months living in student accommodation. So yeah, it is pretty expensive, but honestly the tuition compared to an American university is a lot cheaper in Australia, even for international students, which is nice, you know. So yeah, I feel like that kind of makes it better. Another question I've been getting is, are you going back? A lot of people have been asking me, are you going back to Sydney? And the answer is no, I cannot, just because foreign residents are banned from entering Australia, so I am not allowed to go back to the country. Even though I have a student visa, they will not let me in, which sucks, but it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. Taking all my classes this semester because I do have a class that only is available second semester. If I take a semester off, I would have to, I would be really behind. So I decided, why not just take the semester remotely, you know, whatever, suck it up. I'll just deal with it and I'll be closer to graduating. Another question I would get is, how do you socialize and make friends? Okay, I am probably the worst person at this just because I am very shy and introverted. I'm not the most social person as I wish I was. I feel like you guys might think I'm extroverted, either on YouTube or when I'm streaming on Twitch, but honestly, I am very introverted. If you meet me in person, I'll probably be really shy, but I'll try my best to be extroverted, you know? But yeah, I would say like join societies, go to events, meet people in classes. Just even if you're introverted, you really have to try to step out of your comfort zone. I've had to force myself many times to like be like, okay, Katelyn, you need to introduce yourself. You need to like be outgoing, try to talk to people. Another way that I made a lot of my friends, honestly, is through the social media, which is really interesting. A lot of my friends I've met are through like Instagram, like mutuals, or we just like are like, oh, I go to UCID, oh, me too, like, do you want to get lunch sometime? And like, yeah, let's get lunch. And then like that's how we start becoming friends. That's how a lot of my friendships have started in Sydney, which is really interesting. But yeah, just really push yourself, you know. I know it's really hard, I know what it's like, I hate it as well, but you really gotta do what you gotta do, you know. Would you say there are more international or domestic students? I would say a mix of both. Personally, like, a lot of my classes, if you're taking especially like business classes, there's a lot of international students, mainly like mainland Chinese students, but I think in like arts and stuff there's a lot of more domestic local students. It really just depends, but I would say like I interact with them on equal basis. So I got a question on the residential colleges, but I personally have no experience living in a college, but one of my friends does, and it is expensive. Colleges usually provide meals, 3 meals a day every week, 3 meals every single day of the week, and I think she said she paid around 600 something a week for rent, which is, oh, that's like 2,400 a month, but that includes food and everything. So I know it's very social. I think living on a college is definitely an easier way to make friends, I would say. Sometimes I wish I did live on a college for my first semester, but unfortunately I didn't know about that. I would say do research. I personally don't know anything about it. I'm really sorry I can't really answer your question, but yeah, my friend has had a really good experience with it so far. She is moving off campus and I might live with her. So yeah, I don't know, like it seems it's very social. Like if you can afford it, I think it's a good experience. Other students who have like English as their second language, there are so many students at UCID who aren't really the best at speaking English, and it's not in like a negative way. It's just I think Australian universities don't really prioritize that, I guess, which is kind of detrimental to the students, because a lot of times like I'll be in a group project and some of my group mates don't really speak English that well, so it's really hard to communicate and it's hard to work together, which is why I don't really like group projects. But there are a lot of students who don't really speak English perfectly. So I would say keep that in mind, I guess. Are you planning on working in Australia after you graduate? Honestly, considering the pandemic right now, I don't know where I'm going to be working after I graduate. Could be in Australia, could be in Japan, could be in America. Honestly, wherever I get a job, you know, like this pandemic stuff is gonna have a lot of consequences for a while, so I'm just hoping I even get a job. How hard is the application process compared to US colleges? The Australian university application process is way more easier than an American college, okay? I literally finished my application for my Australian university. I literally finished my Australian university applications in like less than a day, whereas with my American colleges, when I was applying, you have to write essays and like personal statements, answer these little questions. That took like months, right? But yeah, it was very easy to apply. Is attendance mandatory at lectures? Most of them are not mandatory. They're all recorded online, but some units will have attendance check at lectures. One of my first lectures of my first semester, she made us take a quiz in the middle of the lecture to make sure that you were there, and that would be part of your marks. So just be careful. Some lectures do take attendance, and it is part of your marks, especially if you're taking arts classes. Attendance is very big for that degree. I think I've answered most questions that I could get to. If you guys have any more questions, please leave them below, and don't forget to check out analuisa. You know, the earrings, very cute, very trendy, very affordable, very high quality, and yeah, everything's in the description below, so make sure to go check analuisa out. If you guys enjoyed this video and want any more, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I try and post often, but I've kind of been not really posting all YouTube videos lately just because I've been feeling kind of like in a muck. But I do stream on Twitch almost every single day, so if you guys want to hang out with me, I'll be there. Link below. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Leave any more questions below if you have them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!